Hi, this is Mary Badges from Scrap Happiness Studio, and what I'd like to share with you today is whoops, is a good way to do that last binding seams on a double French flat fold binding. What I like about this technique is that no special tools are needed. The binding can be any width, and the only thing you need is a pair of scissors that cuts to the tip. So the first thing to do, I'm doing this I'm quilting this quilt that my daughter-in-law's great-grandmother made. And I'm using a 3-inch binding, and I'm putting it on the back of the quilt because I'm going to finish by machine by folding it to the front. But you can do it however you normally do. So when you start out, you're going to leave a good chunk of fabric, 7 to 10 inches. Sew your binding all the way around, and then stop, leaving a healthy amount in between these two ends, and like an extra, I don't know, 10 inches or so. So when you cut your binding, cut it the perimeter of your quilt, and then perhaps another 24 inches. All right, so the next step is to lay your quilt out nice and flat and lay this out. Lay this out so that it's nice and flat, and so that you can see where these two ends would meet if they were butting up next to each other. And then you're going to take your scissors and make a clip there. And you want it less than the seam allowance. Mine is at like a 3/8 of an inch, so I can clip it a little more. All right, so we've got the clip where those two ends would normally meet. Now this next step is the part that's not intuitively obvious, so this is the part you'll want to remember. And these directions are also on my website, www.scrap-happy.biz, in written form. So you're going to stick your hand inside the binding and then flip it over your hand, face up. Then you're going to take this piece and look for those clips that you made. And line them up on top of this other piece. So you're going to line these clips up right here and get a pin in there. And then make sure it's square on this piece. Go over and line this up with that clip. And if you want to be really careful, you can make sure that this is lined up with this clip down here too. Although it's not strictly necessary, but because I can see that it's lying nice and flat. Now this is going to feel like it's too small, but don't worry, because remember, like I said, you don't do any cutting until you're sure that this is going to fit correctly. So you take this over to your machine, and we're going to sew from this corner to this corner. This is why you want to leave a nice big space, because you need this wiggle room to be able to get this under your machine nicely. And my machine has this nice laser light that I'm going to put on to help me make sure I get down there, but you could use a pencil or just eyeball it. It's not super critical. Don't sew over pins. Okay, now I'm going to lay this out nice and flat and make sure that this is going to fit nice and tight along here. And I think you can see that it does lie nice. Then you go and cut out this excess out of the back. And then finish sewing your binding down from here to here. And I can see that's going to fit nicely. So thanks a lot for watching, and If you'd like to subscribe, you can, and hit the bell if you'd like to notice when I post a new video. Thanks a lot. Bye.